Because I'm proper passionate about Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm so good at it. 15, I was fearless. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And these Thai lads just looking at me like, you little white boy, man.
Yeah.
You're getting it. And I was like, You're in the change room with your fighter, like your own opponent. It was like shadow boxing in front of me, just looking at me. I was like, again, it was happening. I was just like, what are you doing, man? Everyone outside, it was going mad. And I was like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Me and my dad went.
Oh, both of you?
Yeah, me and my dad went.
The lads holiday.
Yeah, when I won that, it's no better feeling. Fights and the hard work, like it all was paying off, and it's gonna pay off. So
Get in.
Hello and welcome to Fijian, the Ginge. I'm your host, Fijian.
I'm the co-host of Ginge.
Do you know what it is? I always do that, yeah? And I look at myself back and my mouth's like... It's like, you know when you overthink it? I overthink it so much, yeah?
I've got used to it now. I'm just fucking used to it.
Bae was like to me, why'd you do that with your mouth when you're doing the intro? And I'm like, don't be saying that. Now I'm thinking I'm doing it and I'm overthinking it. But we got a very special guest today.
Yeah.
2-time Muay Thai champion. Just an absolute animal. We got to talk about... I can't wait to get into this one. Would you won 3 titles as an amateur as well?
3 junior world titles when I was
3
young,
junior
yeah.
world titles.
Yeah.
Got up and coming fight in Madrid, February the 12th.
February 12th, yeah.
So let's get into this one. This one's
I'm a lover, man. I am a lover. Yeah.
This one's a barn burner. A lover until he gives you a question mark kick or something like that. No, but the first thing, normally I love to just jump straight into like what's happening now. It's February the 12th. But as I was watching one of your fights earlier, I've got to talk to you about the lip. I'm watching it and I'm like, it was the 55 kg world title.
Yeah.
I think it was the ICO.
Yeah, ICO, yeah.
And I'm watching it and I'm looking at it. I'm like, your lip looks cut. I'm like, it looks cut, but you can't see how deep the cut is. And then when you win, you're shouting at the camera and the lip is flapping. It's open and it's talking. And I'm like, did you ever see Robbie Lawler's one?
Yeah, it's quite similar.
I was like, this is disgusting. I was watching it. I was like, this is disgusting.
Did you know it was flapping when during the fight? Could you feel it?
So it happened in round 2. So we do 5 rounds, and it happened in round 2. And when I come back round 2, my trainer's putting the towel on the lip. I'm like, get the fuck off me, man! Like I can't breathe. Then he didn't say anything to me. I think because it was so bad, I don't think he wanted to, and I didn't have a clue. And then done round 3, come back round 3, and I was like, that's something wrong with my lip, man. And then he kept doing the thing with the towel again, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, am I cut on my lip? And he's like, yeah, it's not that bad though. I was like, okay. But I've had the same cut before. Like I said to you boys before, I had the same one on the top lip.
It's not that bad. I'll show you after. I don't even know if we'll be able to link it in because I think you have to.
I think you've got to be like, you might have to do it like, and you had that age restriction on
it was bad. It was really bad. It was really bad.
And my tongue was like going through it. And it was like coming out here, and I was like, fuck, it's definitely. Like I said, I had the fight in America and the exact same cut on the top lip. And it felt the exact same, and I was like, "Oh, not again, man."
Did they just stitch it back up?
They stitched this one back up, yeah. Both of them actually.
Because I'm saying now, it doesn't look like there's even.
And to be honest, it healed literally within a couple of weeks.
Like, yeah, they say that things within your mouth heal quite quick. Yeah,
it was really quick. Yeah, but I thought I was going to be well butters after that one, man, because that was 2 in a row, and I was like, "This is bad, man. Why does it keep happening to me?"
Does it not bleed really bad then? Was it not pissing out?
The top one was bad because I think. Because it's like going down the way the blood.
Yeah, so the gravity's like probably like pulling it down.
This one, that's what I mean. I didn't have a clue because I couldn't feel no blood. I couldn't even taste it.
It didn't look like there was any blood. It literally looked like
clean.
I don't know. It didn't even look wide. At the time when I was watching it, I was like, that don't look wide. It just looks like you had blood dribbling down or something. And then when it got, it was buzz. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't mind all that sort of stuff. But I was watching it and I was sitting there like, that is horrid.
Yeah, it was bad.
But February the 12th. Your first fight back in 3 years.
Yeah, man.
We'll get onto the injury and stuff later down the line.
Yeah.
But how you feeling? How's camp been?
Yeah, so I'm 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks away now. 4 weeks tomorrow. It's the first time, like I said, for 3 years I haven't been in a fight camp. So, fuck, it's been hard, mate.
Yeah.
Proper hard.
Is it intense?
Yeah, like I was deep in it the other day. I was on the way back from training. I was like, this is extreme, man. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it's so hard. And it's like, I come out of every session, I'm like, am I fit? I'm doing like ridiculous sessions, but I'm dying in them sometimes. And I'm like, I don't remember it being this hard, man. But then, you know what, today actually, it was like everything come together. I'm doing hard rounds, but I'm feeling really good today. So yeah, I think I'll be good. And it's a hard fight. I'm fighting against actually an old teammate of mine from Thailand. So it was originally supposed to be against a Spanish lad, but he pulled out. So they found a replacement, and he's like top level Thai fighter. So it's like jumping into.
Is there a massive pool of fighters with Muay Thai?
Yeah, especially like in Asia, like Thailand. All of them countries really, but Thailand's obviously the main one because Muay Thai, that's where it originates from. But the Thais, there's so many of them. So even if one's not classed as top level, they actually are really, but they just haven't even been found yet.
Yeah, they haven't broken out.
They haven't like been noticed.
That's
stuff
it,
like that.
because there's just so many of them, and then they'll have their breakthrough moment. So this is what I've kind of made a good name for myself. But this Thai, he's a real good Thai because I train with him. I know how good he is, but other people around the world probably don't. So this is his breakthrough moment.
Yeah.
If he beats me, but he has to beat me.
You get some of that trash talk going. But so do you not train over in Thailand anymore for this camp? You haven't? Or?
No. So I used to live in Thailand on and off since I was probably 15.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Thailand first time when I was 15, and I started living on and off there when I was 16. Sorry, and then I had the whole injury saga, and then the money's just not good enough.
No.
So I was putting my body through like hell, and then getting these injuries. And to be honest, I paid a lot of money for hand surgeries now, and I just thought, you know what, I'm fighting at top level, but I'm getting paid peanuts.
Yeah.
And Muay Thai, there's not a lot of money in it anyway, but there's more money outside of Thailand, which is weird because it's the highest level in Thailand. So I was like, I've got to really weigh up, but I'm coming back from Thailand, beating these top level lads, but coming back, no money, broke as fuck, like depressed, like what the fuck am I doing? So I had to kind of weigh it up, like what do I want? Do I want to live a miserable life, be broke all the time and fight? It's hard because I love doing it.
Yeah.
But then, mate, you know what it's like.
You got to
make a buck out of it.
That's
If you're getting kicked and elbowed and smashed in the face, you got to earn a bit of money. Fucking hell. Fucking hell.
So I've chose now like to like live. Yeah. Stay
What's
here.
the pool of fighters like outside of Thailand now?
Mate, it's getting a lot better. Europe, UK get some really good fighters now. So you got, I don't know if he was on Joe Rogan podcast, Liam Harrison.
Oh yes,
So he's one of my like training partners. I spar with him and stuff, and he's like he's one of the guys that really made it.
Yeah.
Outside of Muay Thai as well. Like he's got like nearly 1 million followers now. So he's doing really well. He's like in just everything in life now. And then you've got you like Jonathan Haggerty, like they're signed to One, Liam Nolan. There's loads of UK lads coming through that are really good.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe a few years ago, there was probably, I was breaking through, maybe a couple of others, but there wasn't so many. But around Europe, Brazil, everywhere, to be honest, there's a lot more now.
No, that's good. At least you can come out of Thailand and still get this like good work and like build on your name and your reputation.
Yeah, that's another thing is like the kind of the credibility you get in Thailand. You're doing all these hard fights, but nobody knows because they don't see it. Whereas you fight it could be a shitty promotion here, but it's televised, and then you're getting like all these followers, all these like views. So yeah, it's one of them.
Is that your goal one day to go to like One FC or something like that, like a big promotion and fight through that?
Yeah. So I mean, I've had a bit of a mad year because I was in Singapore. So I was living in Singapore and I was at Evolve MMA. So they employed me to be like a Muay Thai instructor, and Evolve is the owner of Evolve is the owner of One Championship. So that was my goal. Is all right, I'll get there. They'll give me a contract surely. But then COVID happened, so there wasn't really any fights happening. They weren't really signing any new fighters. And then I hated Singapore in the end. I just wanted to come back.
You didn't like it?
Nah.
Why?
Everyone says to me it's like one of the best places to live.
I could imagine it could be. I think timing, like the COVID.
So it probably weren't like what it would have been like for other people, obviously pre-COVID.
It. Yeah, I think pre-COVID, like all the like kind of expats I spoke to out there, they said this was like paradise, dream, like because you've got Bali an hour away, Thailand, and you're there within like an hour and a half because you go straight through the airport. It's like so convenient. In the airport, through security, you could be in Bali in an hour and a half, and everyone's earning good money there. So Bali's nothing, they can go there, Thailand for the weekend. So yeah, I could imagine it was because it was a beautiful country, but COVID lockdowns constantly, and I was like, man, I can't do this. I've got a missus as well, and she couldn't get out, and it was just
long.
Does she go over with you and stay with you and stuff like that?
I've only been with her now about 1.5 years, so I've had a mad year since I got with her. But then the plan was for her to come out.
Yeah.
But you needed a work permit and everything to get out there, and they were proper strict. Even me, I had to go to Dubai for 3 weeks just to get entry into Singapore.
Jesus.
But I had everything, work visa, everything. They still wouldn't let me in. And I had to do 2-week quarantine. Like, it was long.
And you were going out there to work?
Yeah. I was going out there to work. And like I said, you had to do a 2-week quarantine in their own hotels. So like yeah, it was mad time at that point. To be fair, it was mad.
No, it's good experiences though.
But yeah, going back to the question, I went off on one. Sorry, but yeah,
tangent.
Yeah, but I do want to sign to one championship.
I completely forgot what I asked. I didn't even know what I asked.
I completely forgot that. I thought he was on, so that was the answer.
Yeah, same. I forgot. Jesus, no, that is
So like one championship is that? Is that like MMA?
So they do MMA, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. So you know, like you got UFC.
Yeah.
They only do MMA, and that's obviously a massive platform. So Muay Thai don't really get that exposure, but one championship have given the Muay Thai that exposure, and the pay's a lot better than anywhere else, which is why a lot of people are probably
trying to get over there and get signed by
a big name at the minute.
Yeah.
Do they? I was talking to Frankie before about the weight cutting thing, and I'm sure it's one championship MMA do the hydration thing. Is it the same for Muay Thai as well?
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the hydration.
All of their fights.
Yeah, he might be able to explain it better because I think I butchered it.
Nah, you're on the right.
Was I on? Yeah,
you're saying the right thing. So a lot of like in boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, anything, all the fights they do mad weight cuts, and we've all done it. And that's when you like you dehydrate yourself a lot to get down to weight. So then as soon as you drink water after weight, and you're back up again. So hopefully when you get in the ring, you're big, but it's dangerous obviously because of dehydration. One championships. They've got like a hydration test, so you've got to weigh in the correct weight, but you've also got to be hydrated by doing a piss test. You've got to do 2 of them as well. You've got to weigh in twice and do the hydration twice. And if you don't pass it, you fail. You either lose, I think, a lot of your money or you lose the fight.
It makes it more fair as well because you're going to be fighting people around your own weight.
Yeah,
you're not getting like absolute monsters sucking all their weight down.
And then
no, they do that though.
Well, so but they'll be end up obviously all the water weight's gone. And they'll be looking skinny, and then after the weigh, and they'll drink a load of water, and then they're looking really.
I think it's the more muscle you've got, the more water your muscles hold. So a lot of them are quite muscly.
Yeah.
So they can suck all the water out. Yeah, you get some beasts that come down.
In Thailand, they're really like they've got it down to a T, like the rehydrating thing. So one time I've weighed in and I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, you're tiny, like I'm gonna batter you. And then got into the ring and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
In Thailand, you weigh in on the morning as well, so you don't even have a whole 24 hours to rehydrate. He's rehydrated in like the space of like 12 hours, and he's like, and I was like, oh fuck, man, I'm looking like tiny still.
Yeah.
And he felt strong. That's actually, I got beat that fight. Like he was so strong. But yeah, the Thais are really good at it. But the Americans are even better. Like the MMA guys, some of them are a joke how they rehydrate. Man.
Are they?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Do you have to go for like a proper process and stuff like that, like hire people and stuff to like?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm lucky because the guy that trains me now, he's like nutritionist and stuff like that. So he gives me little tips here and there, and you find your own way, just how you like it, because everyone's a little bit different. But some people hire people, so they're on them all the time, like every day, like tracking their calories, tracking their water. But then when it comes to the water cut, say on the few days before the fight, you should really have someone there with you to try and help you through it, because it can be it's dodgy as fuck.
Yeah, it does. It's dodgy. It looks, when I'm watching videos and that, like
there's some bad ones on YouTube, like that Cyborg, the woman. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
She does a weight cut documentary. Even me, I've done stuff like that, and I'm watching it going, whoa, man.
How brutal is the weight cut?
The weight cut's worse than the fight.
Is it?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. It's horrendous.
Have you had to cut down some like big weights?
Yeah, especially because, again, if you don't, you get in the ring and you're fighting massive people, and they're just way too big, and it's just a disadvantage. So everyone's trying to get that edge.
Yeah.
But then you can push it too far. Like I've done it a few times, pushed it too far, and then it fucks you because you're too dehydrated. You can't. There's no way you can rehydrate in that space of time.
You just feel like lethargic.
Yeah, like sometimes, or you get hit because realistically you're dehydrating like the fluids in your brain as well, innit? Or something like that. I don't know.
No, I think I've heard that on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's word for it, innit?
Something like that. So the brain rattles. It doesn't have any like kind of cushion. So if you get hit, that's a higher chance of getting knocked out. So. That's actually I've only been stopped once in my career, and that's the one I was just telling you about. The guy was big, but I'd done a massive cut.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I mean, I was getting sick and stuff after the weigh-in and everything. It was real bad. And then he actually kicked me in the head. But genuinely, like, it sounds brutal, but this kick wasn't actually. I've been hit a lot harder.
Yeah.
I got dropped, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I was well off balance. Like, and then he stopped me. Like,
just
hit
can't
me again.
recover.
I just had no energy, no power in my legs, nothing. It was weird. So then after that, I was like, okay, I've got to try and be a bit more.
At least they're lessons you can take into the next fight.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Just learning from situations like that, and you can become a better fighter.
Yeah, that's it. Literally.
But started Muay Thai when you were 9 years old. Who got you into it? Because Muay Thai is not something that is like, especially when you would have been nine. It's not common.
Nah, back then
it's quite brutal to get into at age 9.
Yeah. Cheers, Dad, man. No, basically what happened is I started doing Taekwondo, and I was only like four or five, but that was more like, you know, like little karate class, like just doing little, I don't know what
little routines.
Yeah, little routines. But I started doing some of the competitions and doing the sparring, and as I started doing like a couple of years in, and they're like semi-contact, so if you go hard, you get disqualified and stuff like that. So, and obviously when you're a young kid, like 7, 8 years old, when you're fighting, you want to fight, innit?
Yeah.
Like you want to hurt someone. So I'm getting told off for like thinking I'm doing the right thing, but I'm actually getting disqualified for it. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to do something else. So my dad knew some guy, and his son it was like kickboxing / Thai boxing. So I went there. That was in Luton, and then just ever since, just kind of just went.
Never looked back.
Nah, yeah. But I took it more serious, obviously, as I got a little bit older. But
do you ever think of transitioning over to anything else, like MMA or anything like that? Is it?
I had this question the other day. Like, I get this. To be fair, I get this a lot. But nah, because I'm proper passionate about Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm so good at it. But I like watching MMA, but I'm not so passionate about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts as well when you get.
And also, you've got like people like Khabib, for instance. This guy's been wrestling bears since he was 4.
Yeah.
Imagine, I could wrestle all day, every day from now. I'm 25, and for the next 5 years, and he'll still fuck me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just levels, and you see it in the UFC now. Like the wrestling's massive.
Yeah,
like,
you can't even your skill set won't mean nothing when someone's trying to.
If they just get older, that's it.
Yeah, it could be.
It's done.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
Khabib's not going to think. Yeah, let's stand with him.
Nah.
Let me try kick him because Khabib don't kick.
So he'll just jump.
Yeah,
on
he
you.
just jump.
yeah, literally.
He does. Have you ever watched him?
I have watched him. Yeah.
He's an animal, but he's just one example, and he's obviously really good. But there's so many of them now. Like some of the Americans, they wrestle in school.
Yeah.
So they're just Dan's a 2-time world champion. Bam, takedown. They'd take me down.
Yeah, they wouldn't even go. To
So many Thai boxers have tried transitioning, and I'm trying to think if any. Darren Till was a Muay Thai fighter. He was decent.
Is he a Muay Thai fighter? Was he kickboxing?
Nah, he was Muay Thai. He was really good actually. Yeah, he was really good. But he moved into MMA when he was young though.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what helped him. But a lot of people try, and a lot of them fail.
Yeah, he's quite long as well. So when he gets taken down, he's quite tall. So he kind of.
And he went to Brazil for a long time, I think, to practice his ground game.
Yeah.
So that might have helped him, and he was young. So, but I think now 25, maybe I'm not too old, but I don't know. Just the passion thing is where it's at. Like, I'm not passionate about it, and I think, what's the point doing it?
You have to do.
I agree with
you. Do what you love, I suppose.
That's it.
But so fighting from 9 years old what's the kind of layout when you're that old? Is there a thing like the ABA, like, you know, in boxing you got the ABAs and that, was there like national championships and stuff like this?
There is, but boxing's so much more regulated. So you've got like the ABAs because it's got like funding and stuff like that, whereas Muay Thai isn't really a known sport. So we've got like our national championships that you have like this organisation that do them, like different organisations, but it's still hard to find which ones are actually the legit ones. So it's the layout really is just fight. You just kind of keep fighting, and when you're a junior, you've got padding on and stuff like that. So it's not so brutal. So the kids can fight every week if they really wanted to. They've got body pads on and stuff like that. But there's not like a real route for them. It's just fight
until
you get to the pros. Yeah. That's where it's at. Yeah.
Oh, so there's no like, you know, with like the like obviously you've won world titles from young. So would you have been looked at as like when you come pro you're going to be like a
prospect definitely? But then a lot of, because the junior rules, they've got the shin pads and stuff on. That it's a lot easier obviously because it's not as painful.
Yeah.
So then when they go to pro, a lot of them actually they can't handle it. So there's a lot of juniors that are like big prospects, and then they get to pros and you're like, oh, they're actually average, because that's when the mindset and stuff comes in. It's different mindsets then, and the pain and all of that stuff. I think that's where it comes in. So yeah, I was probably known as a prospect, but I started fighting in Thailand, like I was telling you, when I was 15. So I was a little bit different to say the normal junior who would be fighting in shin pads till he's like 16, 17. I went to Thailand, and I started fighting pro when I was 15, so it gave me a bit of a boost.
Yeah, because I read earlier you were like I think you were the youngest person to fight in the stadium.
Yeah,
other than Thai people, like the non-Thai person.
Yeah, so when I fought when I was 15 there, and yeah, that's what I got told by one of the Thais after, like, you're the youngest, because in that stadium you have to be, it's 15 plus.
Yeah.
So, and it's mainly only Thais that fight there anyway. So yeah, that was mad as well. Like, but back then I didn't care. Like,
yeah. What was it like coming out of your comfort zone though, to go to Thailand to flipping?
Who did you go there with as well? Was you there on your own?
Me and my dad went.
Oh, both of you?
Yeah, me and my dad went. Yeah.
Fucking lads holiday.
It was sick. Like, so me and my dad went. It's mad because it was just after my 15th birthday. So I just turned 15, and I went out for the first ever time, and I got this fight, and I was 15. I was fearless. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I went to the stadium. It was surreal because I've watched all these fights in this stadium. It's like where all the top level fighters fight, and I was like, I don't feel that nervous. But then, to be fair, when I went to the weigh-in, it's like, when I say stadium, it's not like your football stadiums.
Yeah.
It's fucking grim. To be fair, like it's dark. It looks pretty horrible.
It's
like
gritty.
Yeah, proper. So it wasn't like this glitz and glam. Like, you know, when I started watching Thai boxing or boxing, you see all these weigh-ins at the MGM Grand. They're like all fucking lights and everything. It wasn't that at all. It was like these Thai lads just looking at me like, you little white boy, man.
Yeah.
You're getting it. And I was like, That, to be fair, the weigh-in was probably the worst part for me. I think that was when I overcome that. I was like, okay, the fight's all good. I think I'm all good. But my dad was shitting himself. But he didn't really show it. But after, he was like, fuck, I couldn't eat all day. Like, it is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But even in Thailand as well, the change rooms, you're in the change room with your fighter, like your own opponent.
Hell.
So he's coming up to me, and mate, he was pretty scary actually, and he was like shadow boxing in front of me, just looking at me. I was like,
It's so fucking weird.
Bruv, I don't know. Like,
That's so fucking
That is weird. That is very weird that you're even in the same change room as him.
That could cause issues. Like, imagine if you were quite a reactive person, and you reacted to that, as in like that could cause a fucking scrap in the change room.
I don't know. Like, again, it was happening. I was just like, what are you doing, man?
Because it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird.
Probably about a fight anyway. But then, yeah, I did really well out there, and then yeah, just carried on.
So did you beat that Ginge?
Yeah, I beat him. Yeah,
yeah, that's good.
So was your innit?
Then
Not what a not
yeah,
innit? You fucking deserved it, dick. Was your dad training you then?
Nah. My dad's never done it, so my dad just kind of supported me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Like, my mum and dad really have supported me well. So he just took me. They funded everything. Like, again, because Muay Thai isn't such a recognised sport, getting the sponsorships and stuff like that. The pay is not as great, or it's nowhere near as good as like boxing or MMA. Like, when I was a kid, I had no money, so my mum and dad were basically funding everything, and I had a few people here and there that helped me out. But yeah, my dad took me to Thailand, and we had a fucking
That's all good stuff. Yeah, it's all good stuff.
So was you like, so obviously 15? You'd have been doing you'd have been in year 11 or going into year 11, year 10.
Yeah.
If you just turned 15, probably year 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you turned 16 in
So
year 11.
you're going to do your GCSEs and stuff, and you've just gone to Thailand and had a Muay Thai fight.
Yeah, it's fucking
But
mad.
was you over there for a while training and stuff like that?
So I did it for that time. I was only there for 2 weeks, so I trained for like a week or a week and a half, and then had the fight, and then me and my dad had a little holiday after, then come back.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the best.
That's quality,
One of the
though,
best
isn't it?
holidays I've ever
Was
had.
that in like the 6 weeks holiday or something, like half term, or was this just like
Just middle of the school?
It might have been Easter, because I'm sure it was April time.
Yeah.
And you get 2 weeks off at Easter.
Yeah, so it could have been Easter. But
2 weeks off for the fight, and then I'm a little 2 weeks off.
But the school were pretty good as well with me, because I was doing what I was doing. I think they were quite cool with me as well doing it. But that could have been in the holidays, to be fair. That might have been. But yeah, and then I come back after that, and then I've done my GCSEs the next year. Then I went out to Thailand on my own with my mate.
Yeah.
And that was when I started living out there and stuff, like for 3 months, 4 months, and then come back, and then I do like another 6 months on my own, and
But
doing it like that.
Do you ever think? Oh, sorry. Do you ever think you could have got to like the level you're at now without training over there?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good question, actually. I don't think so. I think I had to come up with like I had to get over a lot of things. So like mental training, it was really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because there's some really good trainers here, and I have a Thai trainer as well. So
Why are you creasing? He's creasing because he knows what I said to him the other day. I said, you know when you ask someone, I goes, you know when you ask someone. I'll give everyone context. So we were speaking yesterday, and I goes, you know, when you give someone like a good question and they have to think about it and they go, oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
You sit there and you're like, you just hit a banger. That was a banger. That's why he's laughing. It
just feels good.
And he was looking at me and he giggled, and I was trying not to laugh.
I could hear him as well. I was like, oh, I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm saying.
It feels good. And you are.
It was fucking great.
We're just interrupting this podcast for a quick sponsorship break. This sponsor is a sponsor we use ourselves. You don't get the best logos or thumbnails unless you head over to our brother at Ollie D Graphics on Instagram. He does everything, ranging from logo designs, illustrations, animations, and much, much more. Head over to his Instagram, shoot him a little DM, say the Fijian sent you, or the Ginge. He might even chuck in a little extra. With excellent customer service, brilliant pricing, it really, really is a no-brainer. All his links are in the description, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify. And now we get back with the pod. Thank you. No, but that's because I was just wondering, because obviously at that time, it's because for me anyway, MMA and that has only got big over like the last 5 years, 6 years, like Conor McGregor time and that, in the UK and that anyway. Yeah. So I'd thought like the training might have not been as like.
Yeah, I'd have thought the same thing.
It's a hard one because Thailand, they don't necessarily teach you that well, but it's just consistent. You're doing it and you're living it. So you're training in the morning, you go sleep, or you eat, sleep, train again in the afternoon, eat, sleep. So you're proper living like a professional. You don't have any other worries, and you don't have to go to school. There's nothing else there. So I think that's the good thing, and that's probably what helped me. And you're around legit champions all the time. So the gym that I got sponsored by out there, they had like multiple champions. So I just used to watch them, and if I wasn't doing my pad work or whatever, and I had a bit of time, I'd watch them and see little movements they were doing. And I was like, okay, I'll try to do it myself. And so it's like kind of self-taught in a way in Thailand as well, because the language barrier as well, they don't really teach you that well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of self-taught and just being consistent, doing it every day. I think that's what really helps.
Visual learning.
Yeah, that's it. So
like you said, it's probably better for the mind and stuff like that. The mindset to get you
being away from home, especially like that age. Like all my mates going to like Magaluf and that, and like I was missing all of that. But that kind of getting over that mental barrier and stuff, that really helps. So and like the sacrifices always.
Like you said, you're doing it for a good reason as well, and like you're 25, so that one championship's around the corner.
Yeah.
That contract's around the corner. A couple wins, and you're there. But 2016, you won your first world championship.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like? What was the build up like for that?
So it was in London, and I think I fought for a world title before. Did I fight before that? I think I'd lost the world title fight in Japan, and I took it on short notice, like 2 weeks notice. So then that was, when I won that, it was like, it was a nice moment, man. And all my family, all my friends were there, like sold loads of tickets. It was a sick feeling. Like there's no better feeling.
Was it in England? Or was
in the O2 in London.
Jesus.
Yeah.
In the O2?
But in the Indigo. So like this inside the O2, still quite a nice.
Yeah, but it's still in England. I thought it would have been like over in Thailand or something.
This one was in the O2, and I fought some French lads, and when I won that, it's no better feeling. And then it's weird because then I was 19, something like that. So I always had big dreams, and I always thought I was going to be good, but I don't know if I ever thought at 19 I'd be doing that. And
winning world championship.
Yeah.
Is that a lot amateur world? Was that amateur world championship? A professional world champion?
Bantamweight world champion.
Best in the world.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, and then
at 19 as well. That's
19.
Crazy.
I had that year, I think was a big year. I think I fought in Japan, fought in America, and I was fighting all these like lads that I'd been watching when I was young, and they were like veterans in the sport. And in the year before that, I won my UK #1 sport, and all these guys I'd watched when I was really young. So to be fighting them, it was surreal at some points. I was sometimes in the ring, like I had to kind of slap myself, like fucking hell, am I actually here? Like this, I watched this guy knock people out like when I was 11.
Yeah, that must be a weird thought. Now you're fighting him.
Now I'm fighting him, and like I'm beat.
Is there a bit of fear when you do that? Like because you're kind of like you like these people, like, and you're watching them, and you know everything they're doing. Like when you get in there, is it like Jesus? I'm a bit like scared, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think. The UK #1 spot, I fought a guy called Paulo de Silva, and he'd been in the UK #1 bantamweight in the UK for I think like 8 years or something crazy like that. And I'd seen him when I was a kid. He was a knockout artist, so he was a big puncher, and I'd seen him knock out loads of people. And I was like, the day I'd say the night before the fight, I couldn't sleep properly. Like I was actually pretty scared for that fight. And this was like my big moment. This was like my breakthrough. and a lot of people didn't think I was going to win. Obviously, I was thinking when I look back, I'm small. I'm small now anyway, but I was skinny. I'm fighting this man. He's 31.
That's what I mean. You're not even got like man strength or anything.
Yeah, that man strength.
And I'm fighting like a knockout artist at my weight. Yeah.
Fuck that.
I fought him.
Fuck that.
And then before I come out for the fight, like, so you see like the behind the scenes when say like Tyson Fury or that come out and the cameras are following them and the team's following them. That was happening. But then I saw Paolo like stood next to me and he was waiting to come out second. And I was like, fuck. Like looking at him and I'm just like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And I could hear everyone outside. It was going mad. And I was like, what the fuck? What am I doing?
Mental. Yeah, what am I doing? That is mental.
Someone pulled a fire alarm or something. Like, get me out of here.
So where was the UK fight between like 2016 championship and the 2017 championship?
So the UK number one?
Yeah.
So that was when I was 18. So
that was before the world champs.
Yeah, that was before.
Okay.
So that was my big breakthrough moment. That was I can't remember what date that was. At 2014 maybe, something like that. Anyway, 2015, so around that time. Anyway, and that was my big one. And then I carried on fighting, and I think I went on like a 9 or 10 win streak with that fight. So that was one of them. Then I carried on winning. Then I think I had a loss actually. Then I won my world title. I think a couple of fights later. So but the losses I've had as well, like the one I'm talking about, the other loss for the world title, that was in Japan, and I took that again. There was a guy called Dean who was supposed to fight this Japanese lad, and he pulled out like a week and a half before. And again, I'm only like 19 at this point, and Dean was one of my heroes. I used to watch Dean. He used to kill people at the weight. He was real tall, lanky, and really good kneer. And he was one of my favourite fighters. And he pulled out, and they were like, "Would you like to take the fight for Dean?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it." Like I've always wanted to go Tokyo as well. Like so, I was like, "Fuck it." Like I'll go. And then I actually should have won the fight, to be honest. If you go Japan, like some of these countries, like America's not so bad, but Japan, you have to knock them out to win.
Yeah.
Like so, I actually should have.
But the judges will never give you it on the scorecards. You've got to knock them out.
Yeah. So when I fought that one,
Was he Chinese, the person you're fighting?
Japanese. Yeah. So he was really good, but I definitely won the fight. And everyone outside, even the Japanese, all of them.
On points.
Yeah. And they were like, "Yeah, you should have won," but everyone knew the score. As soon as round 5 finished, they knew I'd won, but they knew I'd lost.
Did you kind of know?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you
I
know
knew
that going into the fight that like
You got to knock him out.
It could be a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because I knew a few people that fought out there, and they told me like you're gonna have to really convincingly win, and I won, but it was too close.
Yeah.
And yeah, he got it, but after that, yeah, that's why when I won the world titles, it was a good feeling.
That's what we were saying the other week though. I don't know if it was to Frankie. It might have been to Frankie. Like, there's no shame in losing. You're losing to the best people in the world. You're not losing, like, you're losing to the best of the best. Like, there's no shame in that. I don't know where this whole perception
It's like a whole stigma around it.
Yeah, it's come around of like, you lost, you're a failure, quit.
Your career's over.
Yeah, your career's over. Stop fighting. Like, this is pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Weird. I think
social media has done it.
Social media, and boxing, Mayweather is probably the one.
Oh, and the 50-0 shit. All this 50-0 shit.
But because he kept his O, that's what everyone thinks. So as soon as a boxer loses now, it's like they have to retire. Like Anthony Joshua has to retire because he's lost a couple of fights.
He lost to Usyk, and everyone's like, retire. And I'm just like, he lost to one of the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that is what you're saying is crazy.
He's solid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so good. And like it's weird because the one championship champion now, who I was out in Singapore with him, he's probably in the world now one of the best Muay Thai fighters on the planet. When I was in Thailand with him, he lost at one point he lost seven losing streak he was on. Now he's like known as one of the best fighters in the world, and probably of this generation now is probably going to go down as one of the best in the world.
That just proves that having like losses on your record don't define you as a fighter, doesn't it? It just proves it.
I read something like Johnny Nelson, the boxing commentator. He lost his first 5 fights as a professional, and then when he was 30, he was like. He was the longest reigning
smashed everyone.
Champion. He's the longest reigning cruiserweight champion.
So he started his pro career, lost 5 on the bounce, and then went on.
Or not 5 on the bounce, or 5 out of his first 11 fights.
Oh,
which is like when if you first start out in boxing, you lose 5 out of your first 11. That's pretty bad.
That is like, an awful start.
People would be like, "Oh, that's rough."
Especially
he's not a prospect.
They usually have to fight like if they're backed pretty well. They usually fight like journeymen, so they should be winning them fights, really. But yeah, it doesn't always matter, man. Like, and especially in Muay Thai, MMA especially, because you've got so many different weapons. So you could get cut at any moment.
Yeah, MMA is not looked at that bad.
Nah.
Like, you can lose a few, like, people lose. There's
we were saying
rarely
that as well,
anyone that
weren't we?
has the O's on their record.
No,
like,
it's nearly impossible. Like, I mean, Khabib was one of them, but even if he carried on, someone would have beaten him at some point. Like, it didn't seem like it when he did retire, but if he carried on years and years, he would have got beat.
Yeah.
Like, look at Amanda Nunes the other week.
Yeah.
Like, everyone thought, oh, she's invincible. Like, no one's ever going to beat her. She got knocked out, or she tapped out, do you know, the other week. So everyone loses, and it's like,
I think that's the thing with like UFC though. It's just like you said, there's so many different weapons, and like you've got to have so many different things you can get put in. So you don't have to just get knocked out. You can get put in a submission, tap out. There's loads of different ways of like losing the fight. It's not just
that's it.
I'm gonna knock you out, or I'm gonna try
punching.
and win on points. Yeah, exactly.
Nah, that's it. So yeah, everyone needs to chill with their whole. If you lose, you're
50-0 shit.
Yeah, they need to chill with it.
Yeah, but the thing I love what you just said is when you took the fight on short notice, because nothing can really ever go wrong when you take a fight on short notice. No. You either win the world championship or you lose, but you took the fight on short notice.
Yeah, it's a win-win, isn't it? It's a win-win,
yeah,
really.
that's it. And
it's a golden ticket.
That's it. No one really expected me to win anyway.
And that's why I think you got not as much pressure.
Yeah, there's not that much pressure.
No expectation.
I mean, as a fighter, like my mindset, I just want to win. Like I don't go in ever thinking about losing because I want to be the best of the best. So I didn't think like that, but it does just subconsciously, like you're just a lot more stress free about it because, yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, I've done it. I've had a week and a half camp. Then I've gone to Tokyo to fight one of the best.
That's fucking mad, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What can people say? And mate, the thing is, if people do chat shit, it's usually like internet trolls or something like that. And if they said, go do it, man. Do it yourself.
Do you get a lot of love and support around the area and stuff like that?
Like, you know what? I say about the internet trolls, I don't really get many, but like around the area, like I'm originally from Luton and then I moved to Bedford, but around all these areas, I get so much support, a lot. Yeah, even if I go out in Luton or if I go out in Bedford, I always have people coming up to me. Yeah, it's nice to see.
Brilliant, man. That's what we love.
Yeah, we love that.
I think that's what I do it for, in a weird way. I do it for myself, but I also. That's what really gets me going. When I have the crowd there and stuff. That's why when COVID came and there was no crowds, I was like, "This shit, man.
Yeah.
No atmosphere.
Like you do it because it's an entertainment sport, isn't it? You're trying to entertain the people, and when the crowd weren't there, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'd like that, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
But 2017, another world title. Were they back-to-back world titles, or was there fights in between?
Yeah, I had a few fights in between. So the 2017 one, that's the one where I got my lip cut. Yeah, that's the ICO one.
Yeah.
So I'd had a few fights in between in Thailand and here, there, and everywhere, and then I broke my hand in between. So that's when I first ever broke my hand, like 8 months before the world title. So I had that world title scheduled. It had to be rescheduled because of the hand injury. Then I fought him about, I think it was 8 months later, and that was my first fight back. And then I won that. So that was a better feeling because it was such a hard fight. And I fought Ryan Sheehan, who's an Irish lad, and I thought, to be honest, it was a massive learning curve for me, and I did underestimate him because I hadn't been challenged by like a domestic fighter in a long time at the weight. So I say domestic, he's Irish, but like around either Britain or Ireland, I'd never been challenged. So he challenged me, kind of thing, because he'd fought the Japanese lad, he'd fought a few people that I'd fought, and he had another stinker in Japan, like he should have won against the same lad that I fought, but got beat on points. Or no, he actually got a draw. But apparently, I haven't seen it, but apparently it was like he won.
A demolition job.
Yeah, apparently he 100% won. So then I ended up fighting him, and I thought I was just going to batter him. To be honest, it was a massive learning, probably one of my biggest learning curves, because I went in there complacent. I'm too good for these guys. Like, I've been fighting Thais, I've been fighting this one, that one, and round 1, 2 was good, easy, going to plan. Round 3 started still all right. Round 4 horrendous, like bad. I was so close to dropping to a knee and like quitting, to be honest. That one, it was in my mind, like, or you go down now, you lose the fight. Like there's a few times he hit my body, a few times he cut my lip. I had a cut across my eye, like it was a war. And then round 5, it was a real close fight, and I think I nicked it with the last exchange. Like I kind of rocked him with a punch, and I think it gave me the round, and then that's what won me the fight. But that was a.
He weren't small.
You know what's weird?
He did not look small at all. When I seen it, I was like, you both look pretty big for like a bantamweight fight. Yeah, like, I was thinking small people, but
I thought he was going to be smaller, but yeah, he felt quite big in the fight as well. And I felt like I was I thought I was going to be bigger than him, but I don't think I was in that fight. And he was Irish and mad, yeah. So I've got Irish blood in me, like Irish and Scottish, but the Irish can fight like fuck, man. Like, so he was just coming at me. I'd cut him. I think I'd cut him like here. His jaw was fucked. Like where it was just elbows.
It's so fucking brutal. It's so brutal.
Head
His
kicks.
jaw was fucked. He's still coming.
He had I'd head kicked him, and he had like this massive lump coming out the side of his head here. He'd cut me like twice. It was a real hard fight, but it was a fight that I thought it should have been easy, but it wasn't. It was a really hard fight. But so when I got the win, I was like, thank God, like, because
that could have gone either way.
Yeah, and to be honest though, I kind of found out about myself that like I'm actually like I've got a good heart, and I showed how passionate I was about wanting to win, because I'm not just saying that I don't want to act like Mr. Tough Guy, because I'm not really like that, but like I found out that I am pretty. I've got to be tough, because
got a bit resilient.
Mate, if you're taking fucking leg kicks like that, you have to be
he hurt
starting.
my body badly. Like I could barely breathe. He kicked me with I think it was a left kick, and when I watch it back, I'm like, you can see me like really buckle, and then he was punching me in the corner, and I was like, that's when I was thinking, take a knee, like. But then I was like, you take a knee, you lose the fight. And I was like,
do you lose if you take a knee? Are you out,
no,
or
but
you
because it was
definitely
such a close fight.
yeah.
If he
He
got the
nicked the
10-8 round,
points.
if he got 10-8 round, he wins.
over, yeah.
or I have to knock him out after. So it's one of them, and I was so tired as well. And then because he was like, kind of, this was his big moment. Genuinely in my head, I've actually spoke to him about this after. I was like, I can't lose to this cunt. I can't do it. Like, I can't lose to Ryan. Like, there's no way. And that's no disrespect to him. That's how good I think I am. And that's how good I want to be. So I found out a lot about myself in that fight. Yeah, you definitely find out a lot about yourself. But I was a bit disappointed in my performance. But then I spoke to my dad after on the way to the hospital actually, and he was like, "Why are you so hard on yourself, mate? Like, you've just had one of the fights of the year. It got voted fight of the year in 2017."
Yeah.
And
That's quality.
yeah, he was like, "You just be proud of yourself." I was like, "I suppose, man. I suppose."
but that's what, but I love hearing stuff like that, because when you do talk to fighters and you talk to this, you never hear them talk about like the moments they've wanted to quit in the middle of a fight or stuff. It's only really coming out now a lot more. Like I know Till was speaking about it in the change room, saying he didn't want to walk out, he wanted to quit. But it's more of like you said, like, oh, I'm a top. No, it never crosses my mind. I've got iron mentality. But does it get to times like that in fights where you're like,
everyone's human. Everyone's human, and all this like, I like the kind of bulletproof mindset, and we have to have that to a certain extent. But mate, we're only human. We're not superhuman. So like again, you got like say like you David. I love listening to like David Goggins and people like that. It is motivational, but when someone's battering you, mate, it's different.
Yeah.
You know, and when there's thousands of people outside cheering for you to get battered, it's even more different. And when you're in Japan and you don't even know what they're saying, that's even more different. So there's a few times where I'm like, Japan was another one where I did not want to fight. Like before going out to the fight, I was like, what am I fucking doing here? Like, why did I choose this sport? Like you question it, but I think that fear's it's probably good.
Yeah,
it's probably good.
It keeps you on edge. Well, I've never actually.
They say nervous energy is like good energy, don't they?
Well, Gary was saying that in his thing. He said he had that nervous energy.
It's good energy,
and you get good. All that stuff. So
it is weird, but there's a few times in fights where I thought, mate, like, do I just take the easy way out? Like, it's easy to just go down.
Yeah.
But then what's the point doing it as well? At the same time, like I'm only doing it because I want to be the best at it. So I take a knee now, and then I don't know, like I'm not going to be the best. So
I get.
And all that hard work, like I was saying about the training camps, I'm doing all these hard training camps just to give up on myself, like, and so I try not to. You get them kind of thoughts in your head, but you have to kind of
control them.
Yeah, you have to really control.
I get them on the treadmill sometimes. Right. I'm telling you, the legs start, the calves start burning. I'm like, I think I might just call this one quits. 5 minutes in, I might just call this one
KO'd by the treadmill.
he don't go on the old treadie, but I get that on the old treadie sometimes. No, that's brilliant. The injury, 3 times with the same hand.
Yeah.
What was that like, and how did you manage to like how have you managed to like come back from?
You know what? I don't actually know, mate. Like I've had some proper bad times with it. So I done it originally, like I said before, Ryan Sheehan fight, the world title fight. That's when it started. I done it in training, and then I had the time off. didn't have to have any surgeries or anything.
What exactly did you do to the end?
So the metacarpals, to be fair, I didn't even show you it. It looks like a mess. It's actually, this is the best it's looked for a long time.
I thought it
does.
looked
Broken.
swollen.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really swollen earlier when I saw
This
it.
is actually a scar tissue so that just won't ever go down. So
Never?
Nah.
I thought that was like a plate or something.
Nah, it's just like scar tissue that's built
It does
up.
look really
It looks
big
like a
right now.
plate,
Yeah, it
doesn't
does.
Yeah. But so yeah, did it then and then come back and it was all right. And then I had 3 fights. I had Ryan Rungnarai, who was like Thai champion, and I fought an ex-Thai champion in Thailand. And I'd done it again in that 3rd fight. And I did it in the fight. And I was like, again, I did it in round 2 and I was like, fucking hell, like that hurt. But adrenaline's going. So I didn't think it was broke. I just thought, oh, that hurts a little bit. Come out the fight and mate, as soon as round 5 went, I took my glove off. My hand was like a balloon. And I was like, fucking hell, like really painful. And then got scans on it and they were like, oh, you don't need, I think was it then? Yeah, you don't need surgery, you just have to rest. And I was like, I've done this twice now. Like how can I keep resting like 6 to 8 months? Like my career's going to get like backtracked a lot then. Do you know what I mean? So then I had 6 or 7 months out, I think it was. Then I went back to Thailand, had a couple of fights. And then in the 2nd fight again, done it again in round 2. Same thing, carried on fighting. Round 5, come out the ring. But because I've done it so many times at this point, I knew that it was fucked when I was in the fight. So it was really hard. That was another moment in the fight where I was like trying to like keep my mind switched on, knowing that was smashed. But
Your hands were bust.
But it's weird because you go on autopilot, so I couldn't stop punching, but I knew I shouldn't have punched.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stop. Yeah. so come out.
I'm just gonna stop punching.
Does it get reactionary?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
someone throws a punch, you just
wanna do it
throw a
back.
combo or something like that.
It's
You
just
know,
like
so you
muscle
don't
memory.
think about it at all.
Nah, you kind of just go autopilot and you just do it reactions. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I'd done that, but then as soon as I come out the ring, because again I left everything to go live in Thailand and try and pursue my dream to be like the champion in the stadiums there, and then this was like my 3rd time that I tried it and my hand like held me back. So I got out of the ring and to be honest, I was crying my eyes out. Like I was so upset because I've done my GCSEs, left school, and never had anything else. This is all I've tried to do. So I felt like maybe this is the end of my career because if this keeps happening, like it's not good. Do you know what I mean? This can't keep happening. The pain was too much, and so I was literally I was a mess after that fight. So I'm in Thailand. My dad's FaceTimed me, and I couldn't stop crying. Like just every time I try to speak, he's like, you know, when you get goes like, and then he's like, just calm down. I was like, oh, my career's done. I fucking broke my hand again. Like I just knew, and then I couldn't even speak anymore. So I gave my friend the phone who was with me at the time, and then and then after that, I had so many I had surgery and I was living in Thailand, so I got done at international hospital there, and it's the worst thing I've ever done in my life because they tried fixing my metacarpals. They were putting K-wires into my hand, so it's supposed to fuse the bones together.
Yeah.
But in the process, they stabbed through my tendon.
Fucking hell, man.
So that's why I've got that big scar going down there.
God.
So
Was this in Thailand?
fucking
hell,
God, man.
fuck
down
that.
there. So
That just makes everything 10 times worse.
You know when
doesn't it?
you see in Thailand, I just think I don't trust them doctors straight away. I'll just be like, fuck that.
I should have thought that. I should have thought that, but I got told now this is real good surgeons. I got told by like someone that I thought was a trusted source. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
That's not really. If there's someone that you
Yeah,
trust has told you this
I
guy's a half
understand
decent
it.
surgeon, then I'd have done the same thing. to
yeah,
him.
like and it was just quick. I could get it sorted, and it's like all I have in my mind is I want to be the best. And if I go back home to England, I'm going to be waiting for 8 months to get a surgery.
Yeah.
So, and I can't afford to wait that long. So that's why I just thought, fuck it, I'll go for it. And I'd never had surgery, so I thought, what's the worst that can happen? Do you know what I mean? So they done that, but they didn't know that they stabbed into my tendon. So they gave me paracetamol after the surgery. Mate, I've never felt pain like it after the surgery. Horrendous. My fingers were like swollen badly.
Oh, God.
I was on my own. I had a fucking cast on. Couldn't even button my trousers or anything. And I was like, again, I keep talking about my dad, but I rang my dad and I was nearly crying. The pain was like so bad. I was like, they've given me paracetamol. Like, this isn't even touching the sides.
It don't even help with a cold.
Innit? Give me some morphine. And so I went back to the hospital. They gave me some stronger painkillers and stuff. And then I actually ended up coming home after that. Then they took the wires out because they were supposed to come out after 5 or 6 weeks apparently. But they've took him out, but not noticed that they've stabbed through my tendons.
Is this back in Thailand?
This is back in England
so,
now.
I'm back in England. So you're back in England.
I come
now.
back to England, yeah. Sorry, I just spat on that mic. That was disgusting. Sorry. So yeah, then when they were doing that, they didn't notice that, or they didn't check on the scans that my tendons like been smashed up as well. So then they're like, now you got to go rehab. So like, because I couldn't make a fist, so basically this finger would not go in like that. So it was like stuck to there, and it'd probably go to about there, and then it just hit a block and it wouldn't move. So like, you just got to do a lot of rehab, like.
And no one thought, let's fucking just give this like an MRI or something like that.
Or an X-ray.
Tendons in an
Well,
MRI, but...
like, the thing is, I had MRIs and stuff like that. So that's the weird thing. So this is the
And they didn't pick up on any of this.
Nah, nothing. So I was going back and forth to the hospital, but then I went private with a
That's the best
physio,
way.
and the physio was like doing all this rehab, and he was like, Dan, like we're a few months in. He's like, you should be making a fist by now. And every time I was trying to like push into a fist, my hand looked like it was going to explode, and it was just, again, pain was horrendous.
So if you tried to like force that finger back,
Yeah, but you think like the tendon, obviously where it'd been like kind of just chopped basically, and it's just been pierced, it doesn't stretch around. So like, I'm trying to do something that's impossible.
It's like it probably like
Making it
It's probably making it a lot worse. So in the end, he was like, look, mate, I think you should go back to the hospital, because like, he can only go off what the surgeons are saying.
Yeah.
So I went back to the hospital, and I was like, look, like, I've been doing this for like 6 months now, or maybe even more. I think it might have been about probably 8 months actually at this point. This isn't right. Like, this is my career's on the line. Like, you need to figure out what's going on. And they were like, just keep doing a rehab, mate. And I was like, mate, again, I'm a proper calm person. Like, never really lose my rag, to be honest. And I was like, mate, I'm telling you now, I've done this for 8 months. This isn't normal. I don't know what it could be. I was like, look at the fucking scans then. Oh yeah, I suppose I could do that. And I was like,
oh yeah, man, this is what I mean.
I could not believe it.
What to do.
I could not believe it. And in the end, I went private to one of the like top surgeons in London, hand surgeons, and he just looked at him and was like, yeah, I know what it is. And then I paid a lot of money to get it done privately, and he fixed it, to be honest. So yeah, thank God.
Seems similar, like injury. Like Jordan Reynolds was the same. He went private, didn't he? For his feet. Like, it seems like if you go through the NHS, there's like no point of going.
He goes, if you go in the NHS, you ain't coming out.
Literally,
That's what he said.
like if I left it to them, I'd still be here, like with my fingers.
Doing the fist, doing the rehab.
So your career basically would have. If you'd have listened to them, your career would have been over.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wouldn't have been coming.
Do you
out.
have like medical insurance now or anything like that?
I don't think we can't get insured because, or if we can, the insurance is sky high.
Yeah,
like the
of
premium.
what you're doing.
Yeah, so I don't know whether it's worth just. I don't really know, to be honest. I should really look more into that, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can even get insured. But yeah, it's that whole saga with the hand was the worst, probably the worst thing in my life, to be honest, that's ever happened to me. Like, I've had some bad moments, you know, like never depressed. Like, I don't really want to cry depression or anything. Maybe if like maybe I could cry depression or say that I was depressed, but I just feel like I was really down. Like I said, I left school. That's all I wanted to do, and that's all I still want.
Made a lot of sacrifices.
But what is like depression? It's when someone
Sad.
feels down, or is sad,
Yeah.
or you constantly feeling that sort of rut. So you probably have had minor bits.
Yeah,
of
probably,
depression.
and like a few little breakdowns here and there, and like only my close friends and that would probably vouch for that. But I used to, again, it's probably the kind of farmer saying, no, I'm not depressed. Maybe I was, you know what I mean? But I was really down. like badly a few times, and I used to go to my physio, and it was like a counselling session, to be fair, like and I rate him for it, because I used to go in there and I'd nearly be in tears a few times. So like, mate, what's going on? Like, and he was like, no, it'll be good. Like, he always reassured me, no, you'll be fine, you'll get there. Like, so then when I actually finally could make a fist after that last surgery, I did nearly cry, to be honest. Yeah,
no, that's wicked, man.
I think it's when you've like put everything into something, and then for it to like might come to an abrupt end, and then suddenly get it working again. It's an emotional moment,
in front of me, and I was like, fuck, like, this is all I've got.
And you've got the NHS staff telling you that they haven't got just keep going.
I might look at the scans.
I can't be arsed.
It's mad.
Obviously now everything. So your hand feeling fine, good in that now when you're training.
Yeah. So like, it's the best it's felt in a long time, and I'm punching a lot better now. I'm actually, during this camp, I've been sparring. I've been punching a lot more than usual. So fingers crossed, it's all good. I think, again, it's one of them, like in these sports, you can never say that it's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
But mate, I just got to go with it. And
Well, as long as it feels a lot better than it was feeling.
Yeah.
Obviously, fighting an ex-teammate. How's this one going to go down?
So, he's a Thai, so they're usually pretty relaxed because they do it so much. They're very experienced. I think if I start strong, like this is how I usually fight against the Thais. Like, I start strong, hit them hard, break them down a little bit, and that stops their game a little bit. Then because they're so experienced, they're very technical, very clever. But if you can take a few weapons away from them, if you can take the legs away, if you can hit them hard, kind of break their heart a little bit early on, that's when I usually get success against the Thai. So I'm just going to treat it the same, man. And it's just, at the end of the day, it's like I've trained with him quite a lot, and it's just business really at the end of the day. And at the end of it, we'll probably have a drink together. Yeah. It is what it is. And he's going to try fucking knock me out. I'm going to try and knock him out. Best man will win. But I genuinely think I'm 100% confident.
It's going to be the Brit. The Brit's taking it home.
Got it.
I hope so.
That's wicked. But question of the pod.
Just quick. Well, I just want to ask one more question. Just something I've heard. It just might sound like nonsense, but I've heard, like, obviously with the kicking and the shins and stuff, I've heard that like doing that sort of fighting, that you kick like solid things to destroy the nerves, like in your legs. So when you kick someone's other shin, it doesn't hurt. Is that actually true, or is that nonsense?
It's more of a myth. It's more of a myth.
I've heard that you see them videos on YouTube. He's chopping down a banana tree.
People do
that's
it.
what I mean. Like they like kill all the nerves in your shins.
Again, I was actually having this conversation today with my trainer, and we were saying like because the Thais, again, because they've had so many fights, everyone's like they don't feel any pain, mate. Everyone's human. Like we kind of master the pain, and it's all about the mindset, like trying to control the mind, like we were saying before. But mate, I mean, I suppose you can. There's certain things like you can like kick the nerves in your shin start going away a little bit. But mate, after a fight, shin on shin, my shins are still fucked. Like,
that must really hurt if you both go for the same thing. And it's that like impact. If he's like bone
kicked,
on bone,
like if he's kicked or if I've kicked and he's blocked with his shin, at the time it doesn't really hurt. Like when you're doing it again, adrenaline and stuff like that. But when the next day,
it's a sore one.
It's horrible. Yeah,
I've got actually quick. Yeah, before we ask, with like Conor McGregor's injury, the shin just snapped. Another fighter was saying he reckons he could kick anything and he could never think that his shin's ever going to snap. Do you like feel that? Do you think your shins are like so strong where it's like, I think I could kick a lot of things and I don't think it snap like that?
Nah, again, we're all human, like it's just unlucky.
Yeah.
But if you hit a certain way or hit at a certain angle and the bone's meant to break that way at that angle, the bone's going to break.
Yeah.
Nobody's superhuman. So yeah, people say shit like that, but then it happens to them, and then
no, it's true.
I don't, to be honest, I don't ever think about the whole Conor McGregor, like, because it's happened quite a few times to some of the UFC fighters and stuff, like with the whole clean snap thing. But I don't really think about it when I'm fighting. But I also don't think, I could kick whatever and I'm invincible.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna kick him in his head and his elbow catches.
I don't really think about it, but yeah, no one's invincible. Like everyone's human.
But question of the pod: your most euphoric moment in life so far, like the peak of the mountain for you so far. It doesn't have to be to do with Muay Thai. It could be anything, but just the peak of the mountain for you so far.
I didn't want to say it, but good question.
We also, everyone gets
That's a banger. No, we just like to end it on a positive.
We ask everyone the same sort of
coming
question.
back through like the memory of like your best moment.
So we've just travelled through the whole
career's not over. Like when we do another pod in a year or something like that, there'll probably be something else.
Yeah, definitely. So. I'd say so. I won a couple of world titles, but that wasn't really the peak for me. I fought a Thai champion, and my goal was always to fight like a Thai champion or beat them, and because they're the legit world champions really anyway. So I beat the current stadium like Thailand and Lumpini champion, and everyone thought I was going to lose, and I beat him. I knocked him out actually, and it was in England, and when you see sports people, they cry when they win and stuff. Yeah? And I used to think, why are you crying? You fucking waste, man. Like you've just won. I cried.
You got humbled real quick.
I couldn't stop crying. Like, I was so happy. Like it was like
I think it's happy crying.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
Overwhelming because like again, like we've spoke about the whole time. Like this all I've done. I've put everything into
dedication.
It, so that was a proper like good moment, like amazing moment. And I seen my dad like he's like nearly crying. Like my brothers nearly crying. Like all my sisters, everyone's crying, and even my best mates, like all these like pub lads, you know, geezers, they're crying, ringing their mums, Dad's done it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like that was such a good moment to see how it meant for me, but to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like on my journey with me. That was an amazing moment, and it just kind of reassured me that the sacrifices, and this was after again the first hand injury. So just the sacrifices and the hard work, like it all was paying off, and it's gonna pay off. So yeah, that was probably my best moment, definitely.
No, that's wicked, man.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
This one's been
interesting.
This one has been a banger. I'm not gonna lie.
It's been a banger, yeah. I've enjoyed that. It's quality.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That was the only question.
Anything you haven't mentioned that you want to mention? Ticket information. Well, it's in Madrid. But
so I'm fighting in Madrid on the 12th of February, but I'm also fighting in Croydon on the 26th of March. So quite close together. So yeah, if anyone wants to come Croydon, I should have tickets for that soon. So
I'll link your Instagram and stuff down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll be coming.
Sick.
I'll be coming with the camera.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Post-match interview.
Yeah.
Post-fight interview,
it,
sorry.
man.
But yeah, Rain, anything from you?
How many pro fighters have you had now?
42 now.
Fuck
42.
me.
Yeah.
Jesus, and you're only
seasoned.
25.
Yeah.
That's
You're
seasoned.
a seasoned vet.
I need to retire.
Because like you've come back, you've had the injuries, like you've been through. It's only going to be greatness.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Train your hand in that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, not so much.
Is there ways you can
Like
train
grip
your
training and
wrist or
stuff.
something?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot more grip training. So like pull-ups with the harder grip
oh,
ones.
God,
Yeah,
yeah.
stuff like that. So I feel like it's getting a lot stronger. So hopefully it just
Mate, the more
keeps
you
going.
do, just fucking,
That's it.
train
Like
it.
I think the
Yeah,
forearms and
around
stuff.
I think it's the forearms.
Yeah, that gives it a bit of cushion. But yeah.
Fair play.
Nah, that's wicked. Obviously, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. man.
But that's another episode of the feature.
Yeah, no,
of the Ginge.
episode done. Happy
Keep
days.
liking, keep subscribing. Go follow the man, Daniel.
Yes.
It feels weird calling you Daniel. I don't know why. Because
Yeah.
when everyone says your name, they say Dan.
Dan or McGowan.
Yeah, but then when I see it on your Instagram, it was Daniel, and I was like, oh, I've got to call him Daniel. Like, I don't call him
anything.
Dan, innit? No, you know what I mean, though. That I didn't know. You know what I mean? But obviously,
I feel like you're gonna tell me off.
I felt weird outroing it like that. But yeah, just keep liking, keep subscribing. The support's been crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you all, and we hope you enjoy.
Cheers.